kind of rushing here because I still got a lot of things to do this weekend. The weekend's almost over. But I got to roast coffee. So, try this again after wasting 2 pounds coffee on the ground. So yeah, we'll shut the door this time. So what I was trying to say was I got my switch down here. And we're rolling. Okay, great. So now I'm doing Colombia and another Brazil. These two right here. Colombia and Brazil. Hopefully everything's working now. Right, we got fire. All right, I'm trying to do a quick roast again. I'm going to try not to distract myself. And just a little bit. So what I was trying to do was I was trying to show you my switch here. This is my switch for my motor. And I turned it on before I closed the door. So that was great. So now I got coffee all over the burner, coffee everywhere, coffee all over the ground, whatever. And here's my thermometer. Got it right here. I think you guys can see that. See if you can't get that to be in view for you. So like I was saying, had a really busy week. Doing a lot of yard work. Helping people out. Have my son's dog over, babysitting, dog sitting, whatever. My channel locks to open that. So, yeah, it was a great start for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed that. It was really great. I enjoyed that. Wasting, I don't know, what is that, about $8 of coffee? It's all over the ground. So like I said, been really busy. I helped a neighbor do a whole full renovation on their yard. I've been working on that for a couple of weeks, kind of killing it off and doing everything. We did that yesterday. Really, really busy doing that. Plus it rained this morning. So I was going to roast coffee this morning, but instead didn't, because it was just pouring rain. I thought it was just going to be a light rain and be over really quick, but it wasn't. So got busy doing stuff in my yard, getting my yard cleaned up. I helped my other neighbor out and mowed his lawn for him. And just been doing all kinds of crazy stuff. And then I decided last minute to just go ahead and do a live roasting, since I got to stand around here while this coffee roasts anyways. So I have my drum roaster going. Talked about this before. This is kind of new to me. On my last video that I did live, I've been trying to speed up the process a little bit here to get it to roast a little faster while I'm doing the lives. I have 2 pounds in the drum. That's kind of the max capacity for it. On this roaster here, I have the speed set halfway. I'm actually going to turn it up. I have it just about 3/4 of the way, not quite 3/4 of the way up, but there's no numbers on it. It's just an adjuster dial. I like this new drum roaster better than my other one that I had. It roasts really even. And on my last roast, you know, I get distracted really easy. It is what it is. I'm an old guy. And I started talking and I started doing all these things. And yeah, it was getting close to being done last time, and I let it go to about 4:55 for the roast, and ended up a little, well, dark like I like it, but not where I wanted it to be for the live video. I wanted it to be a little bit lighter. I wanted to be at like 440. That's kind of the roast I've been doing, lately on the lives. But we're actually drinking that coffee still right now. We have a little bit left, and we've been drinking it for a little over a week now. And I didn't actually need to roast on that live one when I did it, but I thought I did, so I did it. Anyways, we've been drinking that roast. It's really, really good. It's got a really deep, rich flavor. And that's the thing about roasting fresh coffee, that the flavor that you get out of the roasts is just, you can't beat it. I mean, even if you go a little bit dark, the flavor is really, really good. I have my flame up a little bit high, and that was kind of the problem that I ran into. I got a little distracted with what I was doing. I was trying to show the temperature. I was just trying to talk a little bit more than I needed to. And I just let the temperature get away from me, because the biggest thing about the coffee roasting is it takes a while to get up to 400 degrees. Once you get up to 400 degrees, it goes really, really quick. It will go from, 425 to 435, in 10, 20, 30 seconds. And the next thing you know it, you're over 440, and you're starting to get on the really dark side. So I got this flame going really good. The roast is already starting to get, I can see the beans are definitely changing color. I'll try to do a little zoom in for you here, see if that helps you on seeing the coffee beans as they're in there doing their thing. Move the camera over a little bit. I can't see the screen that this is broadcasting on, so I don't really know how that's looking for you. So hopefully it's good and in your view. Thermometer says 310 degrees. It looks like you can see the thermometer okay on the screen. I'm just looking through the camera here. I hope you can see that. Like I said, I'm just trying to make it so that you can see kind of everything that I'm working with and I'm using here to get it going. I have the channel locks right here, the pliers, to open the door, because the big fat gloves that I use make it so that I can't, these are hot gloves, silicone. They're really thick, so I can't grab that little knob on the door using these to open it. I found that out on my first live video that I did. So I was struggling to get the door open on that one. On this one here, I just was struggling to get the door closed because I just didn't do it. And then everything went haywire from there. That's the great thing about doing live videos, is what you see is what it is. So we're at 336 degrees. I definitely see the beans getting darker now. Some smoke starting to come out of there. And again, I order all my coffee beans from Sweet Maria's. I'm not promoting Sweet Maria's or anything like that. You can get green coffee beans at Amazon. You can buy them, all over the place at all different kinds of places. Sweet Maria's is just kind of what I found to, be reasonably priced, and they have good variety, and it's nice to have variety. We always get the sampler pack, because the sampler pack seems to be just full of all kinds of different flavors, different types of beans from different countries and things like that. So you get a little bit of different flavor. And now that I'm doing two different beans at once, it's kind of a blend. And, I really have no idea what the taste is going to be like, once I'm done. I've never had something really weird or really wild. And actually that dark roast I did, where I let it go too long, it was really super good. Really deep flavor. I kind of miss having that dark roast all the time, but I used to roast the coffee always at about 455 in my other roaster, and it's not that we got tired of it. It's just we wanted to experience some different flavors, so we started doing it at medium, And then I would start doing one at medium and one at dark and mix them together. And you know, that's the kind of thing that you can do when you're roasting at home. You know, you can just mix the different flavors together and all that. Sorry. Just checking my mic here because I did forget to turn it on at the very beginning. So, like I said, I just threw this live together like in the last 20 minutes. You know, I was eating dinner and I was kind of getting things going as I was eating and stuff like that. Trying to get the camera set up, and you know, it looked like it's going to rain. I checked the weather radar. It doesn't look like rain's going to come down, but it sure is starting to look like it. Okay, it looks like we're getting to the first crack. I don't know if you can hear the cracking going on. I'll put the mic down there and see if you guys can. Every time I put the mic down there, though, it burns my fuzzies on my little microphone. Sorry, I didn't mean to make all that noise. So I'm actually going to turn this burner down a little bit. The colors kind of coming out here. It was looking a little uneven, but now as time's going on, it's looking a lot better. We're at 401. Let me see if I can't get you a little closer in on the beans there. So this is my temperature probe wire here. It's got the hole in the drum where you just stick the probe through. And you could use a digital one. You know, we're at 411. I'm going to monitor my temperature this time. I'm not going to let it get away from me. You can get a regular probe thermometer and put in there as well. But what I found was when I had one of those, I had a digital probe one that came with a roaster. And we're at 420 right now. And I got a lot of smoke going on, got some good cracking going on, feeling really good. But what I found with the digital probe reader is that the heat from the burner and all that doesn't work well with that probe thermometer because it you know, had a plastic base. Okay, we're at 435. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off. Got some good smoke going on. We're at 441. I'll get my gloves on. I'm going to stop everything. Put that up to the top. Get this door open. Okay, now this is the part that what I found doing 2 pounds is a lot of chafe. I'm just gonna fix this video, camera view here. See if you can get a visualization of the chafe coming out here. So yeah, so like I was saying, this process we call the de-chafing. I need to turn this fan or something. And doing 2 pounds, it's a lot more on it than when you do 1 pound. So I don't know how well you can see that coming out, but it's coming out like crazy. It's getting all over me. And again, this is kind of why you don't want to do it inside, or if you do it inside, you want to have a really good exhaust fan for sure. But then maybe do this outside because this is a mess. So, and seeing this is the problem with roasting at a higher flame. I got a lot of unevenness in the beans, which, you know, I like that. But if you're trying to get a nice even roast, you want to have the burner a little lower for sure. You want the roast to go a little bit longer. And like I said, I'm just doing this for live purposes, trying to speed up the roast. But also, some of the beans will roast at a different time than others. Yeah. And it has to do with the drying process, you know, from the farm and all that. And it's crazy. A lot of chafe. I should have moved my soda. No, it's not beer. No, I don't drink. I know I'm no fun. Move this over here, out of the way. So, a little closer view on this right here. Chafe all over my nose. This is really. So not only are you getting the chafe out at this point right here, you're also just doing a nice, good dry. Cooling the beans down. You know, I don't know if you were watching the thermometer as I was turning off the roaster and all that stuff, but the temperature just really starts climbing really, really fast. I probably should have turned the temperature off at 430 degrees. Because as you saw, it just, like I said, once it gets to 425, temperature starts climbing pretty quick. I feel like I need to start splitting this into two different colanders. To get all this chafe out, because there's a lot. All right. All right, I'm going to call that good. So let's see if you can get a view of that right there. So you can see there, you got some lighter and definitely some darker beans in there. So that's kind of what happens when you It's got a really good smell to it. So I'm just looking at it here. So that's my process for roasting coffee. I mean, I try not to dump all the coffee out. You know, I'll show you right here. So look at that. Look at all that wasted coffee. And look at the big mess we got here on the table. So how I clean this up is I'll take the fan and do one of these numbers. It's all clean now. I'll have to brush myself off because I don't know if you can see, I just got it all over my arms. It's all over my shirt, in my shirt. plants everywhere. It's really nice to do it on a windier day. But when it's windy out, then it's tougher to keep your burner going. So anyways, that's this week. Roasting some coffee. My name is Chris. I roast every other week now because we do 2 pounds at a time. And I do it live just to let everybody see my process as I do it. Next time I'll probably have the temperature down a little bit in my burner. Anyways, that's that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Maybe picked up something out of it, or maybe you're starting to get your nerve up to try it yourself. I would advise it. I think it's really great, really good fun. Not that much money. Get invested in it. So thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next stream. Have a great day or a great night, wherever you are.